mid falls here for the side of team.
Was absolutely huge for them because Valor was starting to get out of control.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't have a whole lot of kills, but in terms of that net worth, he's able to melt towers and to utilize all of the space that was given to him. And now on this other side, look at how BRU just bouncing back. They're just gonna take this Tyrant for free.
They take the time for free here, so really, yes, we get a good team fight here from Team Flash. They are able to trade like, what, 3-2. Julius, obviously, is going to be one of the scapegoats within that one. But I feel like somebody has to be at this point, right? Someone has to take the charge, lead the cavalry, and try and get some kills. As you've seen here in this replay, Julius just finds that window of opportunity, gets a takedown there, but the Splendor onto Nunu, saves himself, but then it only delays the inevitable there as we see that Ring gets that kill. So really good play here from Team Flash just to keep themselves in this game number 1.
Yeah, definitely. And Rin, it was almost like personal. He wanted to make sure that he took down Nunu. He was going all the way on the outskirts to ensure that he gets that pick off because Nunu and Valdez, those are the guys that need to die before they can even get to potentially any other member of this, BRU lineup here.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Because obviously the backline potential here for Nunu on this Lorian is absolutely nutty. And you look at, obviously, the gold difference here as well from the mid lane. It's not stark difference. It's not day and night. Around about 500 gold difference. So in terms of actually these mid laners taking priority into the resources, it's not a lot, but taking those blows is going to be Tails. I think he's taking a little bit too much damage here, but it is going to be Julius looking for the escape here on the butterflies, able to get out, and another takedown onto Little Boys. Team Flash are looking for more blood. They're looking for more kills. They're looking to try and stay into this game because they're now approaching that late game territory, which this can actually flip for them.
Yeah, now, nice little Trevor smash. Finding Rin, he's not able to get on his dragon. 3-man stun, and they continue to go, and they're taking them all down. Julius is the only one, and he's going to run back into the hills.
And that's a bit of crispy tofu right there, right? Like, he was absolutely shocked by lightning there by Nunu. We do see the top side of the map with that minion wave looking very promising here for Barium United. We have Leaky, Voldus, as well as Taos. Nunu here as well. The cavalry is here, boys, but not for the side of Team Flash. They still have 6 seconds till the Lung, till the Charlotte gets a line. Julius does fall, and game 1 goes to Barium United.
What a clean game. That's an absolutely a monster game to set things up in terms of the tone here.
Absolutely. Obviously, that's going to be the great game. We are waiting here to see what the experts have to say from this first game of KWC 2026. Take it away.
What a way to start the tournament. Barium United Esports came in, guns blazing, come in, take the first match, and they know right now that with game 1 done, they just need one more game, and they're gonna be making it into the upper bracket finals.
Really, really dominating way that they actually won, where it was not really about team fights, but a chain of effects that we can see later on in the replay here. It was like, okay, Julius from Team Flash, he got the Tyrant in the 4th minute mark, but Little Boys and also the side of Valdez, they went into the Clash and attacked the side of Gil on that Charlotte, got that solo kill, and then converted into towers, buffs, objectives, and then it just kept snowballing the same way. And if we were to look into Team Flash that game, I think Tofu on the Zhangfei, he only had like, what, 3 Unbridled Outbursts towards the end of the game?
What was very interesting for me in this whole thing is just how we had been talking about, like, how are they going to just take that understanding from their own game and just apply it into this patch, apply it into this meta.
Can you
it was
hear me,
just so
guys?
lovely
Hello.
to see how they took the aggression that we talk about and they just turned it into exactly what they needed. Resources, turrets, and at the end, the crystal.
I mean, if you take a look at the goal distribution throughout the side of Barium United Esports, this is what you want to see, right? The jungle having the top farm. He's able to invade into the jungles, make sure that the rest of the team also has options to explore in terms of taking turrets, taking fights. And the one thing I want to point out, we were talking about this just now off stage. Nunu on this Lorion, guys, you have to ban Lorion, man. The ultimate, the setup, the stun, there was no way, like his counterpart, Rin, couldn't even take flight with the Loom.
I've been talking to the KPL casters in all these days, and they've been saying that Lorion is going to be one of the meta picks in this whole tournament. And we just saw it over here in game 1. It is going to be the one hero that we're going to have to keep our eyes on.
I think especially, right, where it excels in a few things. I think the Lorian pick coming in from the side of Barium was actually really smart, where you're thinking on the side of Team Flash, okay, you have Xiao Xiao, you have like Ao Yin, both very mid to close range heroes here. And then you have a Lorian where he's just like throwing his like balls left and right, you know, that's just zapping you from afar, setting you up for big plays, where the range advantage is already earned by the side of Buriram, where they already have that team fight edge, where you don't need to like go for those big team fights. Poke, rotate, invade. That's what they did all game prior to that 10-minute mark.
Just a piggyback right on that topic, because it's very interesting that at 8 minutes of the game, they were already just knocking on the high ground turrets. Like, it was just so interesting, just the way that with only one kill over there, they were already just pushing in just to go for the main objective.
It didn't feel like 8 minutes at all. It felt like, you know, they have been farming for like 15, 16 minutes, right? The goal difference was so big. It was 5 minutes, a 5,000 goal lead in less than 7 minutes into the game. And that was a huge monument for the side of Buriram Esports, because they did exactly what they were supposed to do, right? They took one kill, their singular kill transformed into 3, 6 outer turrets, jungle camps after jungle camps, and then, you know, the wasted...
From Tofu on that Zhangfei, we counted, right? 3 unbridled outbursts, no return.
An amazing start for KWC 2026. Buriram United Esports right now with a small lead that could take them into the upper bracket finals. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go for a short break, and when we come back,
We're gonna go with game 2 for match 1 of our KWC 2026.
Hello everyone. Do you like the stream, guys? Don't forget to like the stream. Yo, hello. Do like the stream, guys.
Play is in our DNA.
Hello. Welcome. Don't forget to share the stream, guys. Let's go. Okay, everyone, IDs will be recorded, don't worry. Hello everyone, drop your IDs in the... No redeem code, bro. Just drop your ID here. It's boring, bro. Supporting India is boring. Wow. Stay at your home and cry. Do you even know what's EWC? What's going on? Do you even know? No redeem code. Drop your IDs in the chat and I will record all those. सपोर्ट करके क्या मिलेगा? वाह भाई, वाह, अमेजिंग भाई. तू पाकिस्तान जा भाई, तू पाकिस्तान जा. पाकिस्तान चला गया भाई, तेरे लिए वही बेटर होगा. तो अभी एक मैच है, उसके बाद
Forged in Valor, crowned by honor. The KWC 2026 is back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 was electrifying, and right now we're going to move into Game 2. I want to talk a little bit about that tyrant fight at the 10-minute marker, because that was the moment that decided the whole game.
It definitely was. And let me be clear, I was watching, but I took a sip of coffee and it
was very fast, right? Like, at the very first, we did see Little Boys on that meeting with his more aggressive play on the Umbral Moon. And then, unfortunately, he got picked off by the side of Julius on the Butterfly. But that's the
It's a
thing.
proud
You're
moment for
down,
our
like,
country,
4,000
guys.
5,000 gold
India
at the 10th
got
minute
the
mark, where
slots
even
for
in a 45
EWC. That's
situation,
a
it
very
still
big
gave so
thing
much room
for our
Buriram
country.
to actually win out that 4v5.
And everyone
We saw
should be
Nunu
proud of it.
bouncing with that
Not
ultimate,
like
just locking
this
down
duffer
several players here, and then setting up
who is
Portal's
asking
team fight
what we
wins,
will get.
which in a equal,
You will
like
get
50-50 goal lead, it could have been
Laddu.
Team Flash comeback moment, but it's due to that early game that you talked about just now.
Yes, and it answered one very
Bro,
big
he's
question we
literally
were
asking what?
discussing just now, which was
What I will
do the
get by
AOE
supporting.
teams that come into KWC, can they actually
मुझे
match the
India
timing?
पसंद
Because the
नहीं है,
timings are a little bit earlier in their side of the world. But down here, at the 4
ये
minute, the
spotlight
moment it was the
मांग रहा है,
4 minute
ये
mark,
spotlight
they were
मांग रहा
on
है
it.
यहाँ
Team
पे।
Flash was on it. Yes, they got the first one, but
अभी से ignore
Buriram
ही
finished
करते
that story with the enhanced tyrant. That was the more important one.
There's
क्या
some little
होगा?
details that you can already start understanding from Buriram, right?
भाई
They
इंडिया का
come
मैच
in,
है
they
INF
try
के
to do
साथ.
the early aggression at the 3-minute
Next match
marker,
India
not
का.
even to try to get the kill from the loom, but just to force the infinite vastness, as Blam just mentioned right over there, which could have actually just narrowed down their options for the 4-minute fight. These little details, gentlemen, it's exactly what we're here to
SQL
pay
or
attention.
INF
I want
next
everyone at
match,
home
guys.
to be taking notes
Miss मत
on
करना,
that.
best of
It is
3
not always about just going in there and trying to get the kills. It's actually just trying to force your opponents into the corner that you want them to be in.
And the way that they play on the draft is actually really amazing from
मत
my
कर भाई,
perspective.
मेरे
I
को
like
support
how
मत
they
कर. जब इंडिया को
prioritized
support नहीं
Nunu
कर
on
सकता तो
the
मेरे को भी
Lorian,
मत
which
कर भाई.
gave them so much advantage into the early picks on the low, on the picks
If
onto
you
the
can't
Xiao
support
Xiao,
India, no
with
need to
this
support
range
me,
advantage
bro.
to control that mid lane. And once that mid lane is
नहीं मिलेगा.
controlled, you
अरे
start to
क्यों
see
नहीं मिलेगा
mass
भाई? We are
rotations
living in a
coming from
country
Valor,
and
going
we will not
jungle
support
invades,
that
going for
country.
side lane
क्या
push.
बोल
That's
रहा
why
है भाई?
I think at the 5th minute mark, the tier 2 in the top side, that's already gone.
Done. It was just like they would have come in here with a clear goal of just like kind of just flattening down the whole gorge, because they came in with an excavator and just pushed through.
The Flash, they were not allowed to play their game at all, right? I understand the premise of the idea behind the draft. You want to get the big hits coming in, but they could
not even get the first hit. They could
चलो
not get
चलो
that first
next
kill.
match start होने वाला.
Exactly. That's just the difficult part, right? Where you want to
First
see
match
how the
Flash
draft
हार
actually
गई
plays
भाई.
out. I think coming in with
क्या
a
Flash
global ban
comeback
pick
करेगी?
structure here, both teams will still put priority on bans, especially on the Lorian and the Florentino here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an important choice, right? I think maybe you don't take the risk. You don't give the Lorian over to Team Flash, right? And Florentino is a must ban. It has to happen.
Well, Florentino is going to be an always ban right over there, and Lorian is going to be an always ban in there. It's going to open for so many different other
Solo.
heroes that we know that in this patch are going to be really strong. But well, Blam, Holler, this
Forged
game
in
number
Valor,
1. What were your
crowned by
feelings? Lads?
honor.
Actually, I was very impressed. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Kim was saying, I took a sip of coffee and all of
Hey,
a sudden,
yeah,
I mean, my
Flash
break's
comeback
over already.
करेगी,
Like,
क्या लगता है?
we're back into game number 2. I feel like Buriram United, it definitely had a clear, precise early game as their draft dictated. But like I was saying towards the end there, Team Flash, if they just had a little bit more
Hey,
pizzazz
Pranil bhai,
in the
hello.
early to mid game, we could have seen a potential comeback a little bit better.
Yeah, I like the term pizzazz,
Rap
but I think
खेलते हैं.
that was. I mean, they needed that a little bit like magic fingers and some
Jazz
ways to
hands.
kind of jazz hands, all of the above, because I think that was a little bit of a wake up call for them, right? I think that they're like a little bit shocked. It seemed like the preparation was definitely there by BRU, because that draft and the way that they were able to play that composition was just so
मेरे
high
को
level.
try
It was able
नहीं
to
मिला
just
भाई, मैं
destroy
late
them
हो
without
गया भाई.
really a thought.
Yeah, it's as if they've done it before. Right?
Yes.
Like they
उन्होंने
played
बोला
those
है, कुछ
heroes
करता
to a
हूँ,
T,
trial
but
send करूँगा.
we're getting into draft here of game number 2. We are seeing that My Sharonoi being picked up for Team
भाई,
Flash
Florentino ban हो गया,
as their
चलो.
first pro pick onto the blue side here. But then we look over to Brew. We have Baldus
All-time ban
going
होने
here
वाला ये
for the
tournament में
Flowball
Florentino.
Marksman. We have the Zhangfei switching hands here. But we do see the pickup of the Motsu as well as the Ogre. And so we have the already long range setup here from the Motsu into the support role. We have the Ogre here to try and build up, scale up, and be that raid boss that we all know and love.
Yeah, so Team Flash here, the biggest piece is with this Mai. Again, it's about that tempo, setting it up from that mid lane. That was really lacking in the last one. A very passive, reactive lineup, and they got forced down because of the fact that BRU, very early game-centric and very aggressive with the way that they were able to play, and that was why they were able to dominate.
Yeah, I like the Gudo here. Obviously, once again, we see Brew going for a little bit more of the safe
Flash
into the
को
jungle.
comeback
They just
करना
want
चाहिए,
fast
तो
pace. They
best
want
of
quick
3 का last
clear.
match देखने
They want to be
मिलेगा
able to
भाई.
give themselves into the lane, into taking that siege of the
Flash को
turrets
comeback करना
earlier
चाहिए इस
on
match में.
once again. But we look at Team Flash. Mai, once you get to level 4, get a few items, definitely that's when we start to see the My Shiranui come online in terms of combos, in terms of knockoff down CC into the backline of Burium United, which is obviously going to be the Flowball Marksman in this case, but it's going to take a little bit of time of Orgren to actually scale up.
Yeah, and it's all about that space, right? You expect it from the Mai, and that's kind of what they're trying to set that up with, so that you have a very good mid game because their early game is set up.
I mean, if we saw anything from Team Flash, obviously they do know how to get the pickoffs right. They do know a bit of a comeback into a team fight that not necessarily they took the engage for. Like, they saw it, they rather than disengage, they thought, okay, bet, let's go blow for blow. And then they come back. So I do agree with your point there, Motsu being able to kind of set this up for either a pathway of My Shiranui or Orgren in these team fights. But we are getting a little bit more sustained here onto the side of Burium United. We have that Huan that's going to be looking to go into that mid lane.
Yeah, it's a perfect counter pick here because, again, the Mai is about the fast, aggressive blow-up, right? The glass cannon style. But you have the Yuan, which is the polar opposite. Yep. You're going to be very sustaining. You're able to out-heal. As long as you're able to withstand that initial burst, you're going to be able to kind of even out-heal him. So this is a great pickup for now.
But the problem is, you say initial burst, we do have a secondary burst here, which is obviously going to be the Chicha. So we now have potential of, if it doesn't work the first time, we have Chicha come through with the damage. And they now actually have a sufficient front line. This is the thing that they didn't have in game number 1 for Team Flash, was a sufficient front line, but now they have the Byron, they have the Orgren. I feel like this is definitely a comp here that could get Flash a 1 point onto the board.
Definitely, definitely. And I mean, it definitely makes a lot more sense. It's way more balanced. They shore up a lot of the weaknesses. Yep. And they have, you know, from early to late game, you're kind of set. My only concern is that the range, the Chicha kind of limited. You don't have as much, right? Yes, the Orgren will be there, but once they're hitting that mid mark, everybody with that range is going to be super, vulnerable, right? And so that's where, BRU need to kind of play around that, dance, if you will.
Yeah. Speaking of dancing, obviously, like you said with the Chicha, you do kind of have to prep yourself before you go into a team fight, especially if you want to have that range. You got to stack up your passive, and then that's when obviously the burst potential does come through. Not quite as kind of like demand and go as the My Shiranui burst.
Yes, and as it looks like the players are about to load up into game 2. Must win, I say, right? Because if you're at the EWC, you lose 2 series, you are going home, unfortunately, from the plans. You don't have too much time to explore Paris, if you will.
I mean, depending on which airport they flew in, right? Obviously, there's an airport quite close by. There is an airport quite close by. I made the mistake of flying in from CDG. Took me an hour to get here. I could have gone literally maybe 15 minutes max, but that's my bad preparation. So we're going to hope the Team Flash and Burium United have better preparation in this game number 2.
Yeah, and I think that for both of these squads, this draft looks a little bit more 50-50 to me, right? You don't see one that is skewed one way or the other, but this is going to be about those team fights. And BRU is able to win one, especially with the setup that they have. You have the Dharma Truth, the Changfei Umbrella Outburst, and then you win that team fight, you're going to just start losing towers, because this Agudo is going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of crowd control, absolutely. Crowd control, but I think the most scary thing is here, obviously, yes, we know that Orgren can do a lot of damage, but can you kind of out-damage the sustainability that the side of Burium United have?
Yeah, it's all about this early game. I love the way the Team Flash are playing right now. This is what they did not do. And now they're going in. Valdez getting a little bit low himself, but he's going to lose the red buff to start things off. A bit of a disaster for BRU.
A bit of a flash, a mob dance here from the side of Team Flash. A bit of a change-up, I would have to say myself. Very well greeted, well needed in this one, right? Because like Holo was saying literally moments ago, if Team Flash didn't make these quick adaptations, it's looking very bad for them.
Not looking good. I mean, it's not over.
भाई early lead के लिए पहले से ही dominate करना पड़ेगा भाई. पहले से ही planned था ये पहले से ही planned था भाई.
You need to really, compound your lead. And now BRU, they're going to do a little bit of pressure onto Hayduck as well.
Hayduck able to get out of there as well. We are seeing that the vote in game is still going over to Burium United here, so we do see a lot of fans for this team looking to try and round this one out for a nice, comfortable 2-0 for themselves. But I feel like for me, what's going to have to take a difference
do like the stream, guys. Do like the stream.
Is Flash trying to get some early game kills? Like you said, try and compound that effect in the early game, get it into the late game.
Yeah, they did get out their first kill for quite some time. I mean, BRU were playing flawlessly, positioning, and now even putting pressure here, Hayduck is coming out worse for wear here.
Yeah, definitely taking too much damage for my liking as well, obviously, as we see. quite a bit of a compounding effect going on anyway, right? Like,
भाई अगर फ्लैश हार गई है मैच तो खत्म उनका ये
obviously the spike-tail beast being taken off the side here. The pigs are
first match भी फ्लैश हारी थी भाई
so you can already see the action and consequence going into the gold lead.
But did you see how Team Flash, again, they were taking boars away.
Yes.
They're being aggressive, and this is exactly what you want to do, especially in a lineup that needs to spike in that mid game. If you're having a terrible early game, but you're going to have a rough time. So again, you want to be aggressive. You have the timer, and now with this Crimson Golem, it looks like it's going to be started here. Taos is looking to take that away, but Valdez gets the smite.
Valdez does get the smite there. I mean, it's kind of looking like here Julius has got squatters' rights into the enemy's jungle, right? Like, he's just constantly like, you know what, I got the timer, I've got the key to your property, I'm going in there, I'm stealing what I need, and you can't stop me. But fortunately there for Valdez, this time around, he was able to successfully steal back his Crimson Golem, which now I feel like is the moment in time where Valdez may be able to try and gain a little bit more momentum for himself.
Yes, it's all about momentum here. And if we're looking at both sides right now, network, neck and neck, this is what we wanted to have seen, especially with these AOV squads. We knew it was going to be competitive because they're coming in almost from the same footing, if you will.
Yeah, something to prove as well, right? Like, this is a different battleground.
Yes.
Like, this is not their home. They are here, and they are looking to make a name for themselves. And definitely, right? So we haven't seen them go up against any HOK teams yet within KWC, but only time will tell how well they do. But currently, just looking a bit for tit for tat, right? Just trying to basically have a bit of a calm before the storm, before those neutral objectives get online in around about 20 seconds.
Yes, we're almost there, but to the point of kind of, letting everyone understand the situation here. If you win this,
to make the groups, right? Yeah. And now Tofu, it looks like Julius is looking to go in, path of passing on, he finds it with the Conductor of Souls. It's going to be dodged out by the Unending Sorrow, but they get the pushback with the Ruin Jet, and they find it, but Julius went in too far. Rin is going to be picked off as well, 2 members down, and BRU weather the storm, and they take to themselves.
I feel like that was kind of like a right? But it wasn't aggressive enough for the side of Team Flash. He gets taken down. They don't bother going for the target. They're looking to make some plays, some monopoly on the gorge.
Actually, it didn't seem like they were completely in sync with one another. Like, Julius was a little too far up, hits the Conductor of Souls, tried to go for 2, but by that point, it's kind of you're not in a great spot in terms of that positioning. You want that when the team fight is already happening, everybody is completely grouped, and they BRU just completely dodged it here.
I feel like that's just the counter-engage potential of the side of BRU United, right? Obviously, using that Mournful Sorrow there, just able to keep himself alive, just meant that they dived in. They were in the Lions Pit. I feel like Rim was probably, like you said, completely out of position there.
Yeah. I mean, the timing wasn't great. The way that they were going in, it was like one by one. They were kind of, just putting themselves, you got to go in together. You got to be in sync. You got to have that coordination. And BRU, the way that they were able to dodge that, again, this is why they're looking to be an incredibly scary team here at the EWC.
Scary team here, KWC. Scary team here into the middle.
It's like they find Tofu, they actually pick him off with an auto outburst, and BRU are going to be so happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. Happy and more, right? Obviously able to get a bit of damage onto the mid lane, create a bit of priority, just kind of give themselves a little bit more room to get a bit more reactive, right? Because that's what the problem was in that early game. Yes, they weren't able to react because they didn't count on Team Flash invading in the jungle.
Yeah, did not expect it, but now that net worth lead completely shifted in favor of BRU. This is a huge situation, and now the Overlord, that is going to stem a little bit of the bleeding for Flash.
I feel like I'm watching the stock market here with that gold, Like, we saw in the early game, it was kind of fluttering up and down, but it definitely put your money on Burium United here. But we are seeing a lot more monopoly being taken away here from the side of Team Flash. It seems like a little bit of a rinse and repeat of game number 1, which is a problem here. It's just taking Brew a little bit more time to get into this position.
Perfect disengage. They had that vision, BRU that was, but Taos didn't have enough madness to get that ult off. So they were like, okay, we can't team fight, we need to get out of this. They lose nothing, they take what they can from the jungle on their way out. Very smart play, even when you're looking to just retreat.
Proper gang कर दी है भाई, proper gang with plan and all.
Greedy here if you're Burium United. Once again, a very low kill game so far. 6 minutes in, 3 kills on the board here.
Only
but
3
that's
kills.
Not what important. It's about created that pressure on the bot side.
Oh, the Conjusit as well, but the Aerostorm just zoning them away. Team Flash, a good attempt, right? That's the kind of setup that you're looking for. But they actually find Taos sticking around a little bit. They have the Cannon Blast onto him, but they're not going to continue on. BRU again, just dodging most of the attacks by Team Flash.
I think this is the beauty of obviously the Motsu, like we're saying in the draft, right? You're able to use that Cannon Blast from a very safe distance, disengage for your teammates. Kind of almost like a second chance card, get out of jail.
And that's the biggest problem, right? I think that the way that they've been able to kind of set things up, but BRU, again, just dodging most of it. They're mitigating most of what he brings.
Unusual fights नहीं देखने को मिलेंगे ये मैच में. इतना safe चल रहा है ये मैच. देखो 7 minutes हो गए already, but still.
It looks like it's going to connect. They tried to go on Pac. The Aerostorm's going to do some damage. They find Tofu, the nice little knock-up as well. They have a little bit of control. Yaw is knocked on the ship. He too will fall. It looks like 2 members down from Team Flash.
Valor shouldn't be melting that quick, you know? Like, there is some serious net worth going into the damage carries here onto the side of Burium United. He fell too quick to flash in from Nunu, just driving them away. Looking just to kind of just help themselves in their own jungle, pay back Team Flash for that early gameplay.
Linky's starting to become a little bit of a problem. Actually, the highest net worth on the squad right now with 5.7, 5.8, a little bit of a wash with Valdez. But Valdez has been able to get that wild growth. They've taken the mid T1, and it's all about that push from BRU's lineup.
Yeah, I think once again, we're just looking at United are very comfortable with these junglers that kind of already set themselves up in level 4, right? They're not really relying on itemization, even though obviously Agudo
क्या dominate कर रहे भाई.
from the automation here,
3K goal lead almost.
Build, but it's all about just creating that momentum, able to create that early game desirability for yourself.
Yes, and it looks like Team Flash using that, all of that to kind of counter the movements, right? They need to push themselves. They're going to take the bottom T1. BRU not in position, but they're in your jungle. They're looting and pillaging everything.
It's kind of like knocking on your door, right? They're like, they are looking for repossessing your goods. Like, they was like, right, okay, you owe us money. You owe us that early game money that you stole from us. And we see here, Burium United are taking that away. T1 top side of the map does get taken away here. Just see Nunu just creating that area of space, that area of safety for Burium United here with that long range CC.
A lot of respect giving by Team Flash here. They've actually had to kind of retreat
right,
into the
see the domination, bro. 0 kills.
Just zoning them away. Team Flash right now, they are caught left wanting, not able to find anything on BRU.
Team Flash, I mean, looking at where we are in terms of obviously their team comp, right? We see Rin not quite doing too well here. He's kind of having to be into the side lanes, looking to try and scrap any kind of resources he can get for himself. Just try and get that mid to late game activation here. That's where the same is the problem for Julius, right? We're looking at carries, we're looking at them having to they need the gold, right? Like, that's the problem here.
I mean, he's trying, but there's no space. They're going in, nice little revenge, and finding him back, but is not able to get it. And Yo has that force field suppression. He's taking most of this. He's still firing at the end of the day. He does survive.
Survives this time. Obviously, last time we saw him, he was literally cut through like a hot knife through butter. But this time around, he's definitely looking a little bit more tanky now. But we do have to keep obviously an eye on obviously common skills, right? So we know that High Duck is not going to be making those engages because they don't have those flashes.
They have the cannon blast, and with that Aerostorm zoning them away, Tofu's going to just have to Peacebringer on back. But the way that they're able to kind of, mitigate, dodge things around, the BRU just playing with their food, if you will, as they start the Tyrant here.
Tyrant, 10-minute Tyrant feed that started here. Hauler, can they make a clear engage here? Pathopassin does go
Julius, he wants to go for this one, cannot give this one, but he gets control, he gets knocked down over the wall. It doesn't even matter, and they take the Tyrant. BRU are starting to roll.
They are rolling. I mean, they need to, right? Baldus, that's one of his main things within his kit. He needs to roll a bit, get across the gorge pretty quickly, but like you said, snowball effect here. Tyrant takedown. T2 takedown into the mid lane, just really open the base here of Team Flash.
They're able to just slow roll it, right? I mean, you have that Agudo. This is a huge problem right now. Yep. Now, I mean, this is a lineup Team Flash that needs that mid game. They have not even achieved it. I mean, timing-wise, we're there, but their net worth is not there, so they're not able to overcome this huge net worth differential of 6K.
Right, they're not scaling correctly with time, right? They are literally just trying to kind of like stem the bleeding at this point. They have to just make sure that they playing a good defense. Obviously, they do have the T2 top side of the map there, so they can kind of try and play around that, like try and get pressure onto Burium United's top side of the map, the Flash lane there, and then try and maybe go for the Overlord, because it seems like neither of these teams are going to go for it.
0-6, literally 0-6.
They haven't lost a single member. The way that they're able to, again, they slow siege, they see numbers, and then they're like, okay, we have an advantage, let's go. And they take things out. They take all of the space that's given to them, and BRU with yet another tower in that top lane.
They are looking to try and get that T3. But I mean, nice pressure here down bot side. This is going to correlate to obviously the Shadow Overlord. If you want to go for it.
It defines it, but Liggy's going to be on back. They've already taken the top T3. The Unending Sorrow tries to go for the back line, but he will fall. Nunu just way too deep. Julius gets stunned up. No control. BRU looking to end this game, and they will take the first series at the EWC.
Absolute show-stopping there for Buriram United. They look contested in the early game. We thought Team Flash was going to do a number on them, but no, Buriram called the helpline and they were able to turn that one around. Buriram United looking feisty in KWC 2026. We have to obviously throw it over to the experts. Let's see what their breakdown is of this game.
What a way to start. You can see it right over there. Sportsmanship before anything. Buriram United Esports with a 2-0 win against Team Flash is going to move into the upper bracket. 2-0. Congratulations to the boys in blue.
One more series and Buriram makes it to the official main event of our KWC 2026. And that was
absolute domination of a performance coming in from Buriram United Esports.
It's just total dominance for that one. I mean, we take a look at the later parts of the game, right? Yeah. It's the last potential fight, game-winning moment. The Mai gets a huge knockup onto two of the different members on the side of Team Flash. But the damage, the life bars did not go down at all.
Of course, because there was not an actual advantage in terms of items, in terms of gold. There's nothing in there. Let's just try to figure it out. Where did that happen? Where does this come from? Team Flash at the 345 marker. Right before the Tyrant, they decide to go and engage into a fight that I did not see like a good decision. The Ogren jumps in. Then right after that, the Tricha jumps in, but then was not damaged. And then right before the 4 minutes Tyrant, I did not imagine that that could be a good decision.
It was very similar to game 1, right? Where it's always around that specific timer here, where I think, yes, Team Flash may have a bit of a miss-up on those plays, but you have to also prize Buriram United Esports, where they capitalize on these mistakes really, really well.
I want to point out here
for you on the Byron.
Guys, next match India का भाई SATUL versus INF. Don't miss best of 3
I like the idea of it.
देने वाला ये.
They want to have the team, you know,
literally don't
come on
miss,
a
guys.
5-man jump onto the potential target, right? But that was not going to be the case when the
debut होने वाला Indian team
Another thing
का
I want to pay attention to is Rin. This
EWC में.
The Chicha pick is a great pick, but it's a very late game pick. Of course. And throughout the first 7 minutes of the game, Rin was at the T1s on the top.
Bottom side, but they could not take a T1. And Buriram, in that moment, took 6 turrets.
And just in terms of that, like you can see how Buriram United Esports had a little bit more of a preparation, a little bit more in depth, I would dare to say, just compared to their counterparts of Team Flash. The way that they just played the game, they came with a very clear plan, and I believe that this is what the other teams are going to be taking notes on. Their game is not about fighting. Their game is about turret destruction. They come in with the 2 picks that they had over there. The main idea of here was just give me the turrets.
And you talk about the 345 in game 2, but you link it back to game number 1. Clear goal coming in from the side of Buriram United Esports, taking down that tier 1, taking the red buff, and then snowballing the game. 8 minutes, 5,000 gold lead, only a single kill for Buriram in game 1. But that's just how they snowball the game into total control in this game 1.
And they understand the win conditions of each particular draft, right? Down here, first target to fall after Tofu was Julius. Julius was meant to be the recovery effect. Butterfly gets the assist, come back into the fight and get those finishing blows, but it was never the case.
Like, even in a situation you're a 4v5, just look at the goal lead here. 4,000 in the favor of Buriram United Esports here. Licky barely touched by any single member coming in from Team Flash. And as of this point, Julius is like, guys, I gotta head back to the fountain, get some health back. But then while the time is on his way back, it's already too little too late.
It's so difficult to play this game because not only in game 1, game number 2, they had all the answers as well. Valor's the moment he drops his ultimate, sure, that's fine. Maybe you want to try and get the team fight as well, but then look at the cover by Little Boys on the Dharma. He was all over the place getting those truth mantras in, and the truth really did hurt on this one.
We know that this is a team sport, that we understand how everything is going to be about, like all the teammates pushing in. But it's important just to understand that some of them just shine a little bit brighter than the rest. When you think about Buriram United Esports, who do you think was like the biggest star in this 5-man formation?
Nunu.
You should have waited, we should have counted, and then we're going for Nunu because I had Nunu as well. Okay, you know, we'll work on our teamwork, but it's okay. This is the Buriram gameplay, right? You go first and I'll back you up.
I think I agree with you guys in terms of Nunu in both games was ideal for any team, just being able just to deal the damage, to just be able to just protect as well. Well, what about if we go on stage and we try to see and hear a little bit more from the players? Mara, take it from here. Let's see exactly what's going on there.
From the winning team, Buriram United, we're here with Nunu, the mid laner. Congratulations! And how was that you received the very first match win here at EWC? How is that for your confidence? How is the team's mindset right now?
ก่อนอื่นเลยนะฮะก็ขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับที่ตอนนี้เนี่ยเราคว้าชัยชนะแรกของทัวร์นาเมนต์ EWC มาแล้วฮะ
ดีใจครับเพิ่งมาเล่นด้วยครับก็แมตช์แรกก็สนุกครับ
Yep, I'm very happy and excited that we already achieved the first victory and like we are very happy to be here too in Paris.
And one thing we were really happy about, you used the new AOV collab hero Lorian in the mid lane. They're the very first team to use that in EWC. Now, Lorian has a really long stun. And when you get your opponent, well, it's a guaranteed success for you, especially when you were getting the farm laner in game 1. How much fun was using Lorian, our new AOV skin collab hero collab for your first match?
versus INF.
มาพูดถึงในตอนเกมแรกบ้างนะฮะเราหยิบลอเรียนมานะฮะซึ่งเป็นฮีโร่ที่เป็นคอลลาบอเรชันกับทาง
SATUL versus INF.
เนื่องจากว่าตัวนี้มีสตันที่ค่อนข้างเป็นเวลานานเลยทีเดียวเมื่อเราแบบว่าแลนด์สตันได้แล้วเนี่ยค่อนข้างจะเป็นการการันตีได้เลยทีเดียว
Do like the stream, guys. Do like the
ความคิดเห็น
stream.
ยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่ามันแตกต่างกับเกม AOV ที่ผมเล่นครับเพราะว่าโลออนเกมนี้ก็จะเหมือนกึ่งโป๊กนิดนึงครับเพราะว่าสกิลเขาค่อนข้างแรง
Buriram United ने तो भाई क्या dominate किया 2-0 से Flash को हराया
a bit of different from the AOV that we has been played because it's like
pure domination
in
like
this game
pure
it's kind of
domination
semi-poke
But you know, we really enjoyed watching you. How about some tips for everybody watching looking to use this new hero Lorian in the rank games? What would you like to suggest for them? Any tips for the rank?
ก็ขอ1ทิปให้กับแฟนๆที่ดูว่าเวลาเล่นลอเรียนเนี่ยมีทิปอะไรบ้างครับ
ก็ถ้าเป็นของเกมนี้ก็พยายามโป๊ก่อนครับแล้วก็พอศัตรูเขาเข้ามาพลาดเราก็อันตีสวนไปครับ
So for this game just try to poke the enemy like as much as you can and like so when you saw that all right the HP of the enemy is like low enough just all in your ultimate skill
Great, for sure. More people are going to use that, and we're so proud with your first win. How about send a message to everybody watching from Thailand? What would you like to say to all your supporters?
มีข้อความอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยบ้างครับ
ก็ฝากเชียร์พวกผมด้วยครับพวกผมจะทำให้เต็มที่ครับผม
Yeah so thank you so much everyone for keep supporting us and like hope you guys will keep like supporting us till the end
Job well done once again. Congratulations, Nunu. Congratulations to Buriram United. And now we're going to head over to the casters. Lead the gorge.
Thank you very much, Mara. Thank you very much, Nunu. You can hear it over there in the background. The people are enjoying this a lot. As a person who has been working on HOK already for so many years, I'm going to tell you, lads, I am extremely happy of seeing this match 1 going the way that it went. Because this is the main idea about this KWC 2026, expanding our family, making the ecosystem richer, and make everyone just to understand from different angles, with different heroes, with different players, how our game can become richer and richer and richer.
And richer also comes in the form of pick and bans, right? Where you have AOV heroes coming in. We've seen in that game just now, Florentino, permaban.
Yes.
Not allowing anyone to play it. That is a very, very strong hero. And then you have the things like Lorian, which has had an amazing performance coming in from Nunu. And we have yet to see Anna yet, but I was pretty surprised when Julius picked up the butterfly in that game 1. He had some pretty good moments here, but at the end of the day, it's a team game. And I think this time around in this upper bracket semifinals, I feel that specifically for the side of Buriram, they did better.
They definitely did. And of course, the tips from Nunu, right? This is very important, right? If there's low health, just get it poked. But of course, let's poke the bear a little bit. Let's go to Isaac.
You know what? I am extremely excited for this game. I am really looking forward for match number 2. Before we do that, what about if we go for a little break, and then after that, match number 2 is going to be upon us.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our
Guys, India match होने वाला है, ठीक है? India का SC12 versus INF. So don't miss.
City being built
Stay
to
tuned.
supercharge it.
Just within 5 minutes start होगा. Within 5 minutes.
Play.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind.
And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
World Cup.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the KWC 2026. We're live from Paris, France, and we're enjoying it and really liking the energy and everything that is going on right now. We just watched match number 1, and it ended up with Buriram United Esports making it forward into the upper bracket. Now, we're going to jump into our match number 2. For our match number 2, we're going to have two teams that we all have known from before. Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. These are going to be the two teams that are right now just getting ready on stage for us to bring in here the main ideas and the main action of the game.
For these two teams, right, I feel for Seoul Esports, they are a very new region as a whole, right? Where they just joined the region not new long ago, and then coming in for their first tournament is already KWC here in Paris, France. So, Blam, if you were to look at SAUL, how would you rate them?
I mean, if there's anyone to give them a warm welcome, it's definitely Influence Rage, right? Obviously, we have had the Chalk BR teams here since 2024, but Seoul Esports, I definitely feel like they have something to prove, just like we just saw in the last games from Buriram United as well as Team Flash. This is now their time to shine, try and get themselves into the upper bracket.
I'm telling you, man, I think that these two teams are playing for completely different things. And that is one of the beautiful about this. The people that you can see over there on your screen, SAUL Esports, Seoul Esports, they're fighting just to write the first page of Indian Honor of Kings storyline onto the KWC with really golden letters.
Now, I don't mean to be someone who will like to discourage teams, but I feel that the direction coming in from the Indian region, the Kings Arise champ, the runner-up here, which is SAUL, it's to learn as much as you can, adapt in towards it, and see how far you can realistically go. Because your opponents here, Influence Rage, it comes from Chalk BR.
Influence Rage is one of those teams that they're really looking forward just to show us that the South American HOK scene are real contenders in the international stage. We've had them for a long time. These people with experience, but up until right now, not yet a big tournament win.
Not big tournament winner, but if you look at them as a region as a whole, they've always been top 8.
Yes.
Like, that's a beautiful thing. If you've been to so many KWCs and you've reached top 8, that's very impressive for your region.
But we need to just kind of like just make that step forward, right? Like top 8 was a great first start, but it's been already so many years. We want to see one of the Chalk BR teams really make it to top 4, to make it to the finals. Wouldn't that be actually really interesting to watch?
Exactly, right? I mean, that Chalk BR, like you mentioned, right? In terms of HOK's history, all the way from KIS 1 into KIS 2 into currently the world stage, they have been, I would say, on a slow run down where they look good at the start, but as the global infrastructure starts improving, they need to find more ways to prove themselves. Like, they have what it takes to actually contend for the top spots here. Like Alpha 7 Gaming from last year, they actually made top 8. And who was in that roster? You have Fury, you have players like Danny who led that roster here. So coming in towards this play-ins here, it's their stepping stone for a greater success.
Let's spotlight that a little bit, right? Because we just mentioned Danny. When you think about Chalk BR, you're always thinking about the same man. And this is gonna be a real good moment for Danny just to prove that, right? Like, it's gonna be a completely new team, a new roster. Can he really just play to the level that he needs to play in this KWC 2026?
I really think so, because I mean, last year we kind of like doubted him as just a solo tank jungler, but then this time around, obviously last year, he proved to us, he was like, right, we can be the assassins, we can play the game.
Well, we will have to wait and see exactly what we're going to do. Let's wait and see exactly what is going to happen. We are going to have Influence Rage against SAUL Esports. These are going to be the players. This is going to be the teams. Hin, Holler, what do you guys have in mind?
Right? I think that for this one, it really sets the tone of the rest of how the Group A is going to be. We saw the first 2 teams already, especially in terms of this AOV squads, but now a lot of pressure on both of these ones, especially for, I mean, is it Sol Esports? Like, who has more pressure on them?
I would definitely think it's the reverse. It has to be Influence Rage, right? Because we have players like Danny, or Donnie as we like to call him. He has experience in AOV as well. He should know what's coming under the covers of that punch.
Yes, definitely so. And I think that for him, in terms of experience on the international stage, he probably has the most throughout the entire, both of the squads here, right? So I think that for looking into this one, Danny is probably the guy.
And also, the history of this, when the Brazil teams came in, they got first place in their competitions. This is SAUL's first ever international competition. Can they repeat the results as well? We're going to see, because the first pick is going to be the Zhang Fei, one of the biggest tanks in the game. This is going to be really important because they have a lot of health bars as well as a lot of damage on the side of SAUL.
Good, a great, couple of picks to kind of set things up. SAUL, especially with this Global Marksman, you're really setting things up for Keltizi to really get going. He wants that type that needs that range, and Global Marksman hits all of those parts.
Ooh, this one that hurts me in the gut. I mean, the Lorian, we've already seen this in the first series of the day, and that's a lot of damage, a lot of CC, more importantly, because 2 seconds is a long time in the honor of King's Wall. But add that in, we have the Guan Yu coming in for the side lane with the Zhang Fei. So what? This is like 4 seconds of CC?
Yes, a lot of control. And I mean, with that Lorian, which you rightly pointed out, a lot of it is going to revolve around that. We were expecting going in, there was going to be a moment where Lorian would be insta-banned almost every single game. Obviously, very early. Second series of the day, and we've already seen it in the first one where it was completely dominant in that first game.
Yes, and of course, the biggest surprise to me is that they did not pick up the Florentino. So Florentino is open for the taking, but it will not show, right? Unless someone wants to play in the jungle, which shouldn't be the case. But with that being said, the Lapu Lapu comes in as the final pick before the second half bans come in. Now, there's a lot of tankiness, a lot of physical and magical defense coming in from the Lapu's passive. This is going to help out
SAUL's draft so far. They have a Byron, Mega Shields, and the Marksman is going to be a very important pick here. He is a shredder on this team.
Definitely so. And there's a lot of tanky guys, so it's definitely going to be something that they're looking to do. Let KLTZ get going, right? On the same side, if we're looking at both of them, you rightly pointed out, very tanky, a lot of those big stuns to set things up in the first phase of the draft here, but now I think they need to really show up, get more damage on the board, if you will.
Yeah, definitely need to. My biggest question now is, okay, look, farm lane is still available for the picks on the side of Influence Rage, but a lot of the useful ones, like the Arlie, Direnjie, as well as the Aoi and the Lung, has been taken out. Lupan is great, but Lupan is very immobile.
Yes, definitely. That's a huge problem, right? Right now, it's about mobility, being able to kind of, when those team fights are about to happen, especially with the Guan Yu lurking around in the wings, Lapu is going to be looking to set things up himself with the Byron as backup. You got to kind of make sure you have the right angles.
It's so difficult. You know what hero comes to mind? I like the Garo. She does a great job at shredding the shields, plus 50% damage on shielded targets. That could be the answer here, but once again, mobility is an issue. They need help. Hopefully the Guan Yu, the Zhang Fei, and the Lorian will be able to assist and provide the space needed.
Yes, and now with this Lady Jeanne here to kind of set things up for the mid-game. Again, a lot of the stuns. This is even more pressure on KLTZ to perform. He goes down, they're going to lack a lot of damage.
For sure, and you know what? I'm hoping for the skin coming in on this Lady Jeanne pick, but we'll take a look at what the final portions of this BP will be. Influence Rage, they're going to set the stage. They need the jungler, they need the farm laner, and they need to be able to shred. They have the CC, they have the control, they have the movement as well. They need the final answer here.
My problem is I'm not a huge fan of this 4 Protect 1 lineup, right? I think that, oh, okay, well, there you go. They're going to get to the back line. This is one way to do it. But I do think if we're talking about, you know, overall team fights, they have a lot of control to deal with this Jing that's going to potentially jump to that back line.
Okay, you know what? A mirror is broken. That's not going to be a good sign here for the side of Influence Rage. But if there's any team to pull this off, Dani in the jungle on a Jing. I don't remember seeing him play this hero too many times, but we also have Leffy on the channel. Can the Brazil squad bring themselves to the next stage of KWC play-ins?
I love how Influence Rage drafted this, right? They were like, okay, who is our star player? Danny. Right? Let's set things up so that we ensure that we get a hero that he's going to love to play. It's going to be all or nothing in terms of just how this hero is able to kind of, you know, get his farm and to do that damage. It's all in right now on the Danny train.
Okay, and we also, I mean, we had a very short moment with both coaches just now. And on the side of SAUL, they predicted a 2-0 scoreline for the series.
Okay.
So I want to see if that comes true. On the other hand, for Kaiba, he's coming in. There is a big expectation. They need to dominate at this play-ins for the KWC 2026.
Yeah, and I think is Influence Rage, you want to be like, okay, hello, welcome to the international stage. We will smack you down. I think that would be best case scenario for them. SAUL, obviously, they want to perform. If they're able to take the first 5-10 minutes and get an edge, that would be a huge win in terms of confidence, morale, and really sticking it to Influence Rage.
That's the dream, right? But
yes.
This is the international stage, and this is their first time on the international stage.
Right.
For Influence Rage is the complete opposite. They have been here multiple times. They have experienced the tension, the energy as well of the crowd. I want to see how this affects both teams.
Yes, I think that's going to be the biggest piece. As we go to the second series of the day, we're going to go to game number 1 to see exactly Influence Rage, SAUL Esports, how they do this one. Because again, if we're talking about draft, though, who are you giving the edge to?
I actually like the side of Influence Rage a little bit more, but simply because there is a potential for flashy and very confusing intense moments that will be brought over to the side of SAUL. So if they don't know how to deal with this, SAUL might fall in this first game.
Yes. All about space, space, space. I can't speak more of it because KLTZ is the guy. He's 100%. Are they able to kind of get on point? He needs to stay alive, ensure that he gets as much time with the solo experience as he's getting in this bottom lane. This is what they want to do in terms of just kind of setting him up for success.
Easier said than done, because at this point, China, with the Soul of the Wolves as well, it kind of dilutes the value of a Flowborn Marksman pick, because yes, you can pierce your targets, but if they're all at different angles, you can't get the amount of wave clear speed that you want.
Yes, and now it looks like at the same time, Influence Rage, I mean, this, if they're able to kind of limit what KLTZ is going, that's going to open things up for Danny, right? And if we're trying to talk about space, about who can really carry, Danny's the guy.
It has to be. And the Jing is a big pick here. They need this lady in the mirror domain and dimension to be able to shine. And this is going to be the first big objective you're talking about, right? The goal lead. Can they get the EXP and the goal lead over to the side of Danny. Because if they can't, then SA8 UL, Kong is going to show him a world of hurt.
Yeah, Kong is definitely the guy that needs to step up, right? Make sure, I would like it if SAUL were to be aggressive and to take away some of those Azure Golems, because you take away that blue buff, Danny's not going to be able to farm as much as he would like.
Yeah, and you know what? Farming is definitely going to be important. They're going to open it up. I don't think it's too much. Actually, Kong doesn't really care. He goes back in.
Yeah, not scared. He's actually fighting 1 versus 3 because he knows that reinforcements are on the way. Mena taking most of the damage. He has the Leaping Savior just to stay alive. But SAUL, again, this is what you want to do. You want to pick, poke, prod, whatever you can do, and put pressure on Influence Rage.
I like this confidence, right? You have to have it at this point.
Oh, nice little stun, though. They flash away Extreme, just staying alive. Doofy had his back, though.
Okay, so 2 minutes cooldown, 120 seconds for the flash. Yeah. That's a good skill to take out, common spell to take out from the side of SAUL. Right. But it's on extreme. The ladies, and she can play from far, so it doesn't really matter that much at this point.
Definitely doesn't really matter. I mean, Extreme is the type where he's kind of like the secondary support, right? He doesn't have to get those items. Maybe you get the Venomous Staff, but nice little control.
They find Fury, the Leaping Savior, the shields are on point. Fury looking to limp away. But now here comes the Razor Cavalry on the back. Tempest with a nice play. But Kong is going to go down. They find Extreme as well. And SAUL have to just limp away with 2 members down.
We are afraid of the Tempest Dragon. No, you need to be afraid of the Tempest Guan Yu. This is the one that hurts one more.
Yeah, KLTZ flashing away, just trying to just pick and prod with Leffy on this one, who again created a lot of that space. Now this bottom T1 is under siege.
And this one hurts, because right now this means he's missing out on the minion EXP and gold. This is not looking good for KLTZ as well.
Like the
now we take a look at the gold lead, right? Close to 3,000.
Oh, nice little sun. Oh, Doofy finds Leffy. He tried to sorry single back to save me, but he got caught out. The charge is just too much from Doofy.
Not the kind of pick-a-boo that Leffy wants to. And, you know, the fact he came from the left, that was great.
Leffy, as he goes into this one. Now, I mean, that's going to be a huge win for that. But now, if we're talking about how they want to play this one out, Doofy, nice little control, finding 2 members in the brush. But again, it was more of just impeding the ambush attempt.
Yes, it is. And right now, this laning phase is, I think, even Stevens for now, but the
side of Influence Rage. And 4 minutes, Doofy hiding alone here.
Oh, he's all by himself, but there's 3 members that tried to go on. Good. This is great in terms of that spacing, right? Doofy took a lot of that damage, and now it's going to set up for this Tyrant. Oh, now they find him. Doofy getting a little bit too low, the Raging Sea, but he's going to be picked off. Kong is too low himself, and they find 3 members. Influence Rage are starting to create that space.
Exactly what you want. The important members, they're all gone. The tank, Doofy is gone. KLTZ, your farm lane is gone. The jungle, Kong is gone as well. And S8UL, they need to find a recovery point because Danny has already secured the first time around the game. 30 seconds in, not what you want to see.
It kind of started with Doofy, right? He was kind of initially fighting, got a little bit too low, and when the actual team fight was happening, he was kind of just taken down. You need his CCs, you need him to kind of cycle through his skills. Was not able to do it because it's just a little too low.
I mean, he was just doing his job, right? He wanted to get the vision for the team, but now that simple change has made life a lot more difficult. Influence Rage, they're looking for the target in the mid lane. If the T1 falls here, it's going to be a difficult one to fight back.
Difference is not something you can come back from easily.
I mean, it's 1K starting to grow with every minute that's happening, right? I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this one. Kong just trying to keep his Crimson Golem alive, or, you know, the buff away for himself. He does take that, but SAUL right now, they are absolutely reeling. They need to calm down, find ways to get back into this.
Okay, I mean, it felt like you were telling me to calm down because it was looking kind of scary for Kong at this point. 0-2-0, no assists, no kills, 2 deaths. This is not where you want to be at this point.
Do not. And look at how Influence Rage completely zoning them away. They've kind of just, you know, springboarded past that T1 mid to push them further back. SAUL right now, they're starting to group up together, and that is a losing proposition.
Yes, when it rains, it pours for this one because now the jungle is getting taken away. You don't get the EXP from the lanes anymore. You don't get the EXP. Here we go.
They dive on this one. They find Kong, who has to roll on back, but the Razor Cavalry, the pushback is unreal by Tempest. Miriam is solo himself. He's starting to limp away, but Influence Rage have already taken a huge opening with 2 members down. They're going to take the bottom T3 as well.
Okay, what's the call here? Do we go in for more? Because there is no more Extreme, there's no more Kong. They have the 2 tanks left. Kilteezy actually right now is a very, very crucial positioning. If they can take Kilteezy down, there is no defense.
There's absolutely no defense. I mean, he's the guy that needs to just do with the wave clearing. He needs to get that farm. But again, if we're talking about space and XP, he's just overall, he's fallen really behind. Leffy has a 2-level advantage over him.
He also has a 2,000 gold advantage. It's 2 for 2 at this point. And you know what? 7-1 in terms of the kill score. It's looking all Brazil at this point.
It is, definitely so. I mean, they're taking everything. I mean, they can't even get to their own Crimson Golem because of the fact that they've been zoned away. Influence Rage playing this one phenomenally here as they've like completely zoned them away.
And they play this really safely, right? Both Crimson buffs, one on Fury, one on Leffy. The big pokes, they don't even need Danny to jump in. He doesn't have to take the risk.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, when you have Fury, you have Tempest, all of these guys that can be those frontliners, and Danny can just, secondary initiate, which is what you want to do because he's very vulnerable. He's able to find that damage, and he's able to burst them down when they need to.
Yeah, Fury definitely was watching the interview, right? Yes. We meant the advice for new players, but Fury was like, okay, that sounds good to me too.
Yeah, I mean, they saw the first series. This Lorien has just been unreal in terms of how much impact that he has. Those orbs are starting to do some serious damage. He pushes away, zoned them out. The top T3 looking just like that. They're looking to take this down.
Yep, the fight hasn't even started, and they're low, right? The 2 pokes, Leffy getting those soaring signals in, Fury with the pokes as well. This is a hard defense for S8 UL, and it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard or impossible at this stage, right? Oh, they go in, they find him and kill Teasy just like that. You blink and you're going to be killed, and they find them. They push him back as well. They find Kong, but the crystal is open. They're going to take it, 1 down. Influence Rage up, game number 1.
Big moments for the side of Influence Rage, and it was a rager. This is where Kaiba, the coach, wanted to have happen. He has been waiting for this moment on the international stage for a long time.
And now it looks like, I mean, they're going to be so happy with that, how that one played out. SAUL, on the other hand, kind of, this is a bit of a wake-up call. It's not the end of the world. It's just one game, but they need to find ways to bounce back in this one.
I mean, okay, it's just one game, right? It doesn't matter if you lose at this stage that much, you still have a second life. But ideally, you want to be able to make it last faster.
And INF is going to take that first victory. It was an 8 minutes match. They came in and then just in a very supreme and very superior fashion, they came in and they took in the victory. Lads, break it down for everyone, please.
It's just a very big difference in terms of experience, right? Where we see, yes, individual prowess coming in from players like Danny on that Jing, finding multiple angles, and also the Guan Yu. That was a magnificent performance in ending that game in that crystal area here. But in terms of the individual performance here coming in from SAUL, you can clearly see that they are really lacking behind in that team understanding in terms of macro and micro.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was definitely... We do have experience on the side of Solar Esports, right? Obviously, we do have Kong there. He's probably going to be the driving force, giving and ushering all this experience over to the team. But when they have Influence Rage, Chuck VR, that's been going since, what, 2022. There is a wealth of more experience there for Influence Rage.
And you could see just in the main difference when we were talking about Danny, right? Like, Danny in here, he comes in with the Jim pick. He's the person that opens the game over here for Influence Rage, right? Like, they come in the 4th minute, the Jing, just the initiation over there in the blue zone. It is what makes everything just turn around. What about if we just go for a quick break? When we come back, it's gonna be game number 2 of this match number 2.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Welcome back. This is the KWC 2026. Let's go back to Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. In that game number 1, I do believe that the key for Influence Rage to be able to take the victory was their awareness of the map and the way that they were zoning out their opponents in all of the different lanes, right?
I feel like it's a very good point, right? Where you have the Unbridled Outburst coming in from Mena, and also Tempest coming in from the back with that Guan Yu's ultimate here, which actually limited a lot of space coming in from the side of SAUL to find those early game markers here. Yes, you want to play the double marksman composition like what Buriram did, but in the end, if you can't get the early game going, laning phase, jungle, you're just gonna get sandwiched by that double in-game.
Of course, that is not going. It's not going to work out, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like, you need to be able to have an advantage if you want to play with that double marksman composition, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to play with that double marksman compensation, you then going to try and like create that space for yourself, right? But then, like you said, if you got the Guan Yu just pushing you into the jingle, it's kind of just like, where's your space? You've not got it. If you don't know where to be, we're going to force you into that right place.
They did have at the beginning of the game, they had one opportunity just to take that first blood that might have just turned things around. Like, it would have actually just made everyone just feel a lot better with themselves and could actually turn the game around, but they couldn't just capitalize out of that.
And especially when you talk about these moments here where you are losing not only by draft, you're also losing by team fights here. So it's really difficult for the players on the side of SAUL to realistically find a footing for those proper team fights.
There we go. Obviously, they need to find the proper team fights. I feel like Seoul Esports, this definitely need to kind of just go back to what they know. Trust Kong maybe lean into that a little bit more in terms of the experience that he has for the team. But it's all there for them to show now. This is their showcase. Do they go to the lower bracket or do they fight for the upper bracket? Casters, they need to tell the story.
They're gonna have to just tell us the story of what is going on in here. Take it from here, lads.
Yeah, thank you so much as we go into game number 2 to find the draft. For me, it seemed like it was too much of an all-in play on the KLTZ, especially with this Flowborn marksman. I feel like you need to balance it out, right? I think that you can't put too much pressure on one guy. Everybody needs to step up.
Yeah, it needs to be a balance in terms of who gets the resources, how do we distribute the resources for this. And at this point, I think, you know what, at least in game 1, Kong, I felt, did a decent job of trying to resolve the situation, but time was not on their side.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have much time when the spacing is going to be completely taken away, right? There was that initial fight where 3 members got killed right before the Tyrants. That was a bit of a disaster in terms of a start. You need to kind of come out 50-50. Maybe you contest, take that away. They were not able to do so.
I mean, this is one of the things, right? They were pretty tanky, but they only had 2 points of damage realistically, right? One from the Gudo, the other from the Fluborn Marksman. So at this point, once again, we're going to re-explore the BPs. Lianpo is going to be a big pick. Zhang Fei is going to be a big pick. These are the big tanks, right? No more Lapu Lapu for them on the side of S8 UL. I'm wondering if they want to go for utility roams instead.
I think it makes sense, right? But I think that for me, maybe you let Kong not just play like the tanky style junglers, but let him fly too. Let him play like the Jing, Luna, those styles, right? They are aggressive. Let them play, again, use his advantage to create space. Now KLTZ will have a much easier game.
Okay, I like the idea of that, but it's kind of a difficult position to be in because right now they're just going to start up with the Chicha. Chicha, as you all know, flex pick can be played in the farm, can be played in the clash, can be played in the jungle. So I like this movement from SAUL.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I mean, I like the fact that you're talking about how flexible it is. It's a lot of mind games because if you're looking at the other side, it's like, oh, where is it going to be? How do we ban other heroes, understanding that it could be literally any of those lanes?
That's right. And you know what? Let's not even consider the difficulties. Let's just go for tankiness first, right? And we have the potential of return fire on that ultimate, on the Dharma as well, the truth mantra. So I like this. Lapu Lapu as well as the Dharma picks coming in. This is going to be a very important pick because Tempest, I felt like he had a lot of impact in game number 1. Now with a Dharma, there is even more pain to offer.
Yeah, just setup after setup. And he finds the right angles, especially like he did in the last game with like Guan Yu. But if we're looking at the other end, it looks like they're going to go with the tried and true. The Zhang Fei, very traditional, but the Zhang Yu, your thoughts on this one in the clash?
I love this hero when it's on my team. Okay. Because with the Hegemon Slash, which is the ultimate, the lower your health, the higher the damage, and you also get a mini stun from that skill itself. So this is a positional objective on the side of SAUL, right? If this Xiangyu gets into the correct position, soaks in enough damage, returns it fully to the side of Influence Rage, it could change the plane of the fight.
My only concern is Xiangyu very slow, right? The Hegemon Slash takes like 3 business days to truly arrive. I mean, to actually hit that mark. But again, if you have other setup, especially with this Zhang Fei, you have ways to kind of mitigate and play around it.
I mean, okay, number 1, yes, maybe for some people it feels like it takes 3 business days. And plus, you're trying to get it on an Erin who is like a feather in the wind.
Yes.
Right? Very mobile, able to change directions at any moment. And within a moment's notice, that's the biggest thing. Now, the big question here is, can this Erin farm? Do they give the space for Leffy to get the gold in his pocket?
Yeah, and actually Leffy, let's talk a little bit about him because when he was picked up, it seemed like Influence Rage were able to kind of up themselves to the next level. They were able to kind of really just use his play and, you know, just solidify that farm lane to elevate this team to the next level. Leffy right now, from what I'm told, he's one of the hardest workers in the room. So there's a lot of good things that, again, you can kind of see in the play of Leffy here.
Okay, so hardest worker, I mean, if you're paid fairly, then probably he's going to get a lot of gold in his pocket for this game number 2. Now, they're going to pick up the Ukyo Tachibana for the side of Influence Rage. Going up, wait, what is this? This is going to be a Ziya in the mid lane and a Demon Jin in the farm lane. The Chicha is going into the jungle.
Okay. We knew it was going to be flexible. And again, they might as well just flex it like that. But now you have the Zia, which again is one of those win more type of heroes. It doesn't do the greatest things at times because when you're behind, it feels like a really just tough hero to play with here.
Actually, I would contest that. With the Sanctification, he gets extra EXP as well, right? And he can break the level limit. So you get to level 25 if the game really goes late. Put that on a Chicha, put that on a Direnjie. It changes the whole situation of the team fight. Right now, you have to have many other considerations as well. Now, they're gonna finish up the draft on S8 UL's side, or no, Influence Rage with the Nua. I like that. There's a lot of burst damage, a lot of mobility, very quick rotations from the mid lane as well. This could change a lot of things.
And actually, it's about that range. You have a huge the artillery bombardment from, the next level or the next map, if you will. I mean, he's able to just stay alive. He's able to kind of stay out of harm's reach, especially when they have the Zhang Yu as well as the Zhang Fei. Both of these guys that are looking to find that backline.
I always think like that when I play a Nuwa, but somehow I find myself in the loving arms of the opponent team. So hopefully this doesn't happen for the side of Influence Rage. But this is a difficult position to be in because SAUL, they want to get into the thick of the action. They want to be in your face.
Yeah, and I think that they need to play that way. They need to be aggressive. They need to give themselves a chance because, again, I know that you like the Extreme Zia as more of a late game assurance. I'm looking at his early game. If they falter here, he's literally just an old man. He's like a poor man's Gandalf, if you will.
Okay, well, the old man put some damage in here, and Danny, I like the idea, the aggression, but this is time wasted, right? If they don't manage to get the early rotations, this is going to cost them.
Yeah, and Danny here using that gold sharing. One thing that we saw even in game one was how Influence Rage were able to extract as much value across the map, especially early, because that was what was able to get that snowball going here.
Yeah, and more importantly, right, it's also they now have the information about which buff was started.
True.
So this is going to impact what they're going to be thinking about, right? In the next 90 seconds, how do we want to plan our rotations? Do we want to care about the mid lane, right? Right now, this is free EXP that they're losing if they don't get here on time.
Yes. But look at how all three members, just like that, right? Influence Rage, all of them are like, okay, let's use that gold sharing. That wave is about to crash into the tower. So they've kind of, again, extracted as much as possible, sticking to a three-man posse here.
Okay, I like this, right? I'm just going to sidestep into the Hyper Roast. Revenant, Spark as well as SAUL Esports will break the meta of HOK Global Esports. As it stands now, it's looking a little, new.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to be like where these teams are, especially when you haven't played against some of the levels of these teams who have been playing around for year after year, right? So it's a little bit, more of a kind of a free roll for SAUL as they kind of find their footing to find. Nice two-man stun with that Universal Law, which has been dodged out. Influence Rage, get on out of there.
Okay, did they burn the common spells? No, they did not. But was it worth the exchange? It puts fear in the minds on the side of Influence Rage, right? This is a possibility you have to consider. Now, with that being said, SAUL, ooh, KWC. This one is looking a little bit uncomfortable. Leffy, you talked about being the hardest worker in the room. He is working really hard right now.
Yeah, KWC though, he's gonna get found out. Danny, he's looking for the first kill. He's gonna take first blood right there, and that was a wounded fish, if you will. He's gonna take that free food to go.
And this is a level 4 mana. There is something to set up here. If they can steal this away before the 4-minute Tyrant, this could be huge for the side of Influence Rage.
Actually, the way that they're disengaging is that, okay, it's about value, right? Let's just go to the mid lane. We don't need to do a 50-50 smite, and a smite battle, if you will. Danny completely giving that up, but again, just trying to extract more farm on this map as they're up about 1.3.
Yep. What I'm curious about is at this point, have they frozen the lane? No, they have not. So Leffy actually allows the recovery of gold and EXP for the side of KWC.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay. I mean, again, I think that freezing it in that bottom lane would have been huge for them because KLTZ, that walk of shame all the way back, plus you're losing a lane, it would have been very difficult to find anything. So again, a little bit of a, misplay, if you will.
I think calculated risk at this point, right? Okay. So Doofy, that's the thing I want to really focus on. Doofy, game number 1, got caught out early before the fights.
Right.
But now we're going to have a new one.
Oh, here's the emergence. They actually have the numbers. The 3-man stun, the Hedge of Slash will actually connect on, but they find Kong in the bad spot as Danny takes that kill.
This is unfortunate for the side of SAUL. They need Kong to stay online. They need him to come up as soon as possible. They're going to stop this TP. 15 seconds cooldown.
Oh, Miriam just stopping the teleport, but there's 3-4 members of them, and Miriam is going to sacrifice his life just to cancel that TP.
Yep, didn't even have his ultimate available. Had to burn the flash as well. And now, 4 minutes is here. The Tyrant has arrived, and Influence Rage looking super strong.
And Kong, he's already used the smite. It's on cooldown right now, so they actually can't even contest on this one. Influence Rage are going to pick this up for free. Yes, they are around, but again, you're giving that one away.
I mean, how many advantages do you want to get? You get the Tyrant, you also get the T1 at the top with the split push from Tempest. It's all looking good for the side of Influence Rage. They want to end the series here and now, clean slate.
They're looking very clean right now. I mean, this is a huge lead already, 2.5 or so. Doofy's on back off here. But the way that they're, again, just taking stuff off of the map, the positioning of them, they're finding Doofy in a bad spot, and they're going to take that free kill as well. The emergence potentially going in, but the Universal Law onto Fury and Danny, they are low.
No, but they don't have the long-range finish. There is no one to finish the job here, right? And if they still survive, they get away, they're going to get back to full health. And once again, you find yourself in the exact same position. You have nothing to offer at this point.
Yeah, nothing at this point. And it's kind of a sad story, if you will, but SAUL, it's one of those things where, okay, this is not looking good. How can we get ourselves back into this game? Do we go aggressive? How are we getting back?
I think it really is avoid the fights, right?
Okay.
They have to avoid the fights at this point. They have to try and farm safely and also understand what rotations are possible. This needs to be done by Doofy. He needs to let the team know whether buffs are up, what kind of rotations are being made on the side of Influence Rage. He's already giving the vision.
Okay, but it looks like they have all 5 members. They try to go all in. They do get the pickoff. They find Leffy. And on the backside, it looks like Fury's going to be targeted on next, and he too will fall. That is a great ambush attempt, but Miriam a little bit low. They find Extreme. Danny has showed up, but he gets stun locked here on this side. And now with that Raging Sea completely whizzing Keltizi, who gets back onto the tower. Doofy is still duking it out with Danny. Danny decides to turn it up. He actually leaps over the wall, but they're going to dive the tower, and Mena not able to find Miriam in the end.
It was a sliver of hope, right? It looked great. 2 kills for the side of SAUL, but the punish coming in from this side of Influence Rage was exactly the same as well in quality. Now, Danny, recovery 4-0-1. This guy is a monster in the making, and there is no slowing down. 3,000 gold lead. Majority should be in the hands of Danny here.
Yeah, Danny is that guy, right? He is literally the guy in terms of just like when the team fights are happening, you got to get out. Extreme trying to flash away. The mini stun on. He's not getting out of that one as Danny finds yet another. Miriam is going to charge on back, but they've been completely zoned away from this bottom T2.
Yeah, it's not even about taking a fight. It's just pushing them back, so the backdoor defense will be unlocked by the moving minions on the bot side of the way of the lane. And right now, Influence Rage, they have absolute control over the gorge.
Yeah, absolute control. I mean, SAUL were able to find a couple pickoffs. Things were looking decent for them in terms of this comeback, but then Danny shows up and you're like, wait, actually, we are really that far behind.
Yeah, but it's a difficult position to be in because if you take a look at the 2 main tanks, they're eating too much damage before the fight actually starts. Now, this was looking great for a moment, but look at how many spells they threw, how many ultimates they dropped down to try and get the 2 kills. These are the squishiest targets, and you have to use so many resources.
Yeah, they threw everything, but Danny finding that backline. Once he shows up, he's like that superhero, right? And he was able to find enough, and they were able to kind of take them down because of his damage. And again, Danny has been the guy. If he's nearby, you just got to run, if you will.
Yeah, man, this is the byproduct, right? Hang on.
Oh, they find Tempest. The nice little charge back. Mena trying to control, but the Raging Sea is going to be on point. They find Tempest. Doofy doing a little bit of work, but he's going to be whittled down by Leffy, trying to focus him down. SAUL are going to just walk away. Emerges just barely misses Doofy.
And why did Influence Rage take that fight? Take a look at the top side of the map, right? They not only get the split push going in, quite a bit of damage on the T3, and right now they could be looking for more. Kong needs to move away. In fact, the rest of them, Keltizi as well as Doofy, they have to be really careful with Extreme. Get away from this position. It's so dangerous.
Oh, so dangerous with Danny there. Mena getting a little bit low. The charge on back. Danny now getting focused here. He's a bit on the squishier side. He's going to use the healing too, but SAUL finding ways to get back in. I mean, they're, taking the fight to him.
4,000 gold difference in advantage to Influence Rage. Not bad for being in this position to try and hang on. 8.5 minutes, this is a Tyrant, the normal Tyrant, not the enhanced one, so it's still okay for the side of Influence Rage. Big question now is, what is the mental state here, right? It feels like they have the ability to recover, but do they even get the chance? Because Influence Rage, they still have a good control of the map.
But taking that Tyrant is just like a baby step towards the right direction in terms of how this game is looking to go, at least if you're an SAUL fan. That's what you want to do. You got to win the little things to compound it into something much bigger. Miriam getting focused here. The creation blocks are going to do a little bit more, but not enough to take him down. They're under the mid T1.
Oh, Doofy.
Oh, the stuns. Oh, they're absolutely real. He's getting whittled, and now it looks like Miriam tried to go all in, but Leffy finds him. Tempest is going to be traded away. It's a clash for clash, and now Danny, he's going to just back on off on this one. They're going to be happy with that trade.
It's a full trade of resources as well, but the ultimates are coming back off cooldown. Danny already has his. Meanwhile, Extreme and Doofy have theirs. But Doofy is so low. Doofy, I feel like he needs to take less damage. He's getting the vision, sure, but do it without getting hit.
Yeah, I think that Doofy is thinking the same thing. He's like, I need to take less damage, but they just keep focusing me, right? I think the game plan is definitely there, but now, I mean, if anything, it's about that vision game. Just like understanding and tracking where the enemy team is.
They can't defend this. This is a T2 for free on the side of Influence Rage. Doofy does not have the madness as well to get his ultimate off. So, you know what? Taking a T1 at the top, that's the best they can do. I like it.
Yeah, you'll take what you can get, right, in terms of that spacing. I mean, Tempest is there. He'll kind of clear. This is a numbers advantage in the mid lane. It looks like Miriam trying to go in. Mena looking to duel on this one, and now with that Raging Sea off to the side, they find Kong. The burst is real, and Doofy too will fall. KWC not able to pick off it looks like Mena. He's going to survive, but KWC taking a lot of damage. Is he able to get away? That was a baby universal law, and Tempest on the prowl with the Formless. Not quick enough.
He was looking good at it. He had the true mantra. He had the flash as well. I knew what was coming. And you know what? Tempest said, chill out, guys. We don't take too many unnecessary risks here.
Yeah, and now with this Overlord, and it looks like they want the Tyrant. They're going to go for both at the same time. Very greedy, but when you've got 2 members down and this lead, I think it's okay for Influence Rage.
Yep, double OBJ. I love to see this. It shows you to what extent, like Danny, he's also making sure they don't have the Primal Bond. This is what you should do if you want a double objective. That's enhanced version, Shadow variants, by the way.
Yeah, synchronized, a big neutral taking, right? That was the perfect way, but again, DJ can break this one down.
Yeah, I mean, this is all down to Miriam, right? He wanted to get the setup. Good idea, but that Matrix coming in from the side of Fury, that was so monumental in the fight, allowing for a lot of damage coming in with Annihilation as well.
Oh, Miriam a little bit low. Danny not enough damage to take him down, but SAUL, tuck tail run, they hide under the top T3 here. But Influence Rage not looking to give this up. They have at least the Siege Catapult. Do they have enough damage to take it down? They do not.
I mean, at this point, they have to trade health points for the defense.
Yes.
Right? And that's not a good situation. It means you fight unfairs. And Influence Rage to take the T3 in the middle. This is going to open up the doors. This might be the last fight here.
Yeah, the Shadow Vanguard is in the bottom lane as well. Kong trying to deal with that Vanguard. That will slow things down, at least for now. Top lane, that was the big push. They take the top T3.
Okay, now Kong does have the Blood Rage. This might be the smallest of advantages, I hope, but SAUL on their last legs. This is the last T3. It looks like it's going to be taken down.
Yeah, Mena just walking forward. Miriam just getting slowly picked off. The Raging Sea is going to be committed. The shields are on point, though. And now with that Annihilation, they do find Miriam. And now Kong, he too will fall. Doofy getting a little bit low, and he will fall as well. They've taken the 4 members down. And now KWC not able to do so. And it looks like Influence Rage are going to take game number 2 in this series.
Upper bracket secure. Now, the strongest teams have made it work in this part of the day, which means they will be going up against Buriram United Esports.
Yeah, and I think that they're going to be super happy with that result on this one. Influence Rage coming to play 2-0 very quickly, if you will, but that was looking like a team that was on the next level here.
I mean, they said they were ready for the international stage, and Kaiba said they wanted more, and this is exactly what I want to see out of Influence Rage. Good start.
Very good start. It couldn't be better, right? But at the same time, SAUL, they had their moments. Let's not discourage what they did. They were able to find it out, but again, just too much Influence Rage in the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is their first international, right? So this is a good learning experience. Not many people get to go to the international stage as a training ground, you know, right? But first major event, you're in Paris, right here on the big stage. This is going to be an important lesson, and they need to recover fast.
Very quickly. There's no other time. We have one more series. You lose that one, you're going home. So if anything, right now, you got to just kind of shake things up and get back into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for match number 2. Influence Rage is going to be the winners. Influence Rage is going to move forward in the upper bracket, and today they're going to be playing against Buriram United Esports for that first ticket into the group stage.
And the both of them, on how they exactly played the series, it was very, very similar in a very dominating fashion for both Buriram and also the side of Influence Rage, where they choke out their opponents through map resources, force them to take uncomfortable fights, and then that 10-minute mark, when it hits, they clean up the game easily here. And you gotta say, when we go into the upper bracket later to decide the first Group A slot into the the group stage. That's going to be interesting because it's really hard to predict who's going to win out.
Of course, no, but before we jump into what's going to happen into that upper bracket, right, let's just put our eyes into S8UL, right? They had some moments, some sparks of really top-level performance in this game as well, right?
Yeah, they did. I mean, the draft-wise, I mean, going into a best-of-3, there's so many more better picks I feel like you could have gone for. Obviously, like the Zhang Yu here into the Clash lane. I mean, what are you really doing, right? What are you charging into? You're charging into a creation block of the newer? Like, what do we want to really achieve here with this Clash lane pick? It didn't seem like it was actually coming into fruition here. And in terms of, obviously, like, the actual tempo of, like, scaling, mid-game, it was kind of, like, all over the place.
Yeah, that was a good point, right? Like, they actually saved it in as one of the last few pickups here, and this is some of the highlights coming in from game 1, where that wombo combo coming in from Maina on that zombie unbridled outburst, connecting with Tempest with that Razor Cavalry was just so beautiful for that specific play. And Leffy, I don't know, buddy, that healing deal is probably not for you.
Yeah, Leffy should have gone righty, right? Like, he should have definitely stayed away from that T1 turret down to the bot side, but there were some actual, like, there were some good things here for Soleil, right? They were trying to set up the team fights, obviously, there with Doofy, but it just all fell apart. They were able to compose it here onto the side of Influence Rage.
And I like the fact that you pointed out, like, last year, it was Danny's year in playing those utility junglers, those tanky bruiser styles, but coming in towards this specific series, man, he's improved. He brought back the Jing, he brought back the Ukyo Tachibana here, and both of the games, 0 deaths occurred for this jungle player.
His identity has always been like that, right? Like, he's always been an assassin.
Oh, yeah.
He's always in the jungle, getting the resources, trying to get the kills. That is exactly the Danny that we know.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, though, did we expect anything different here from Influence Rage? And I mean, yes, obviously, they go up against Solar Esports. They do dominate in a 2-0 fashion, but the bar for that domination isn't quite, obviously, what they're going to be reaching into this next phase, right? Obviously, Buriram United really showed some great colors and really big promises here.
S8UL is going to be working their way up tomorrow to try to keep alive in the tournament. But what about if we go on stage right now? Mara got Danny that is going to break through this everything that just happened in this game. Mara, please go.
We're here with Danny from Influence Rage. Congratulations. In both games, you were amazing. But you know, what really struck out to us was game number 1. You finished it in 8 minutes. You did not allow your opponent to get any objectives or any tower. So what was the key to having this high level of map control?
I think it's because, like, the matchup against them, like, we have a lot of experience, so the difference between us and them, like, in this series, I think, is the experience. So that's why, like, we just smashed the game like in 8 minutes, because they are new in this game, right? They are playing like for 3 months, I think. So yeah, in the second game, I feel it's gonna be like the same, was to be the same, but yeah, we made a lot of mistakes.
But it was great that you're also acknowledging the experience of your opponent. And what we also noticed was that for every pick, before every objective, you got a pick. And how important was it for your team to have this level of aggressive play style to have such a convincing win?
Yeah, this is the style that we like it to play also in Brazil. We are an aggressive team, so we like to fight a lot. We like to invade. We like to fight like for everything for the TPs. So yeah, this is the style of our region, I think. So yeah, that's the difference.
And with that, fight, we're gonna see another one later on. So Influence Rage, your team, will go up against Buriram United as our 5th match of the day. And we want to see and hear about your honest predictions for that one.
I mean, Buriram United for sure, they are like a really great team. They are also champions in their game. So yeah, I expected that series gonna be like a really good series, but for sure we are ready. We're training a lot and we are in my house, right? We are in okay. So we're gonna win and we're gonna to the group stage.
Let's invite the viewers to support you later.
So thank you very much, guys. You guys are supporting our team a lot. You guys are sending message every time. So yeah, we're gonna try our best in the next match and we're gonna to the group stage. So thank you very much and keep support us.
Danny, as always, you're amazing. Once again, congratulations, and we'll see you for the 5th match. You heard it from Danny, and now we're gonna hear from our casters. Lead the Gorge.
With total class and an amazing sportsmanship feeling right over there, Danny just break it up on what it was. Like once upon a time, there were the teams that they had months only of experience, and right now, after years and years of clashes, they have gained experience to right now being the ones to lead the Gorge, as Mara was always saying. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna jump into a short break, and after we come back, we're gonna have our next game that is gonna have Nongshim Red Force and OG Esports.
We're the champions, ready to go. Yeah, we're made out of gold, never letting it go. Got your back, yeah, they coming, strong in the storm. Do you wanna go up in fortune, valor, crown and honor? Yeah, crown and honor. Yeah, with fortune, valor, crown and honor.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the KWC 2026. We're going to jump into our match number 3 of the day. Group A is already done. We're going to move with the action in Group B. And who do we have over there in Group B? Two teams that they do not need any introduction. Nongshim Red Force against OG Esports.
Yep, before we actually jump back in towards it, right, we have this specific tournament bracket here where Brunei United Esports took down Team Flash in a 2-0 fashion, and in Group A itself, we also saw how Influence Rage dismantled SAUL Esports in that game just now.
So, big moments from Group A. Now we head into Group B. Nongshim Red Force is going to go up against OG Esports. This one breaks my heart because I love both teams, but they're not the only ones causing me heartbreak. It's going to be Deep Cross Gaming going up against Blacklist International. Difficult matchup for sure.
I feel like Group B, as a whole, you can never get your predictions right because all these teams are pretty 50-50 in terms of their strength. And for the upcoming match for Group B, Nongshim Red Force takes on OG Esports in Group B's opening here, Isaac.
Yeah, that's going to be our Crunchyroll topic for today, right? They meet for the first time again in an international tournament. So I am really looking forward to see if this is going to be the first time that the IKL is going to have their revenge against Nongshim Red Force, right?
There is a first for everything, so maybe today is that day. But I also want to talk about how this team is constructed, right? We talked about the replacements that Nongshim Red Force has done throughout the second half of 2025, coming into 2026. A lot of big changes for them, and those changes have brought them a certain level of success. OG, on the other hand, the 5 different teams, 5 different members, did they produce the same result?
I mean, you gotta look at it from a perspective, right? Where Nongshim Red Force, yes, 2 members out. We have Ratel and also Namu as the new players here. And then you look towards the side OG. They moved from previously known as KMW, now KML, to IKL with their star player Dao Dao. And it has been going pretty okay thus far, where they've been finding wins, they've been finding momentum, but they ended 3rd in IKL. So if you're 3rd in IKL, can you beat KML's 2nd place?
I mean, numbers are very important, right? And but these numbers keep changing. That's the thing. OG Esports, as they walk their way to the stage, can they find the confidence to break Nongshim Red Force apart?
And to talk about this specific roster, right? Yes, it's coming from different players, different background, coaches, and everything. But if you look and dive deep in towards it, Omkru is their coach. He was top 8 last year with Bigatron by Vitality, and Dao Dao with OG, top 8 as well. And Neil, also Bigatron by Vitality. So you actually have a lot of players coming in towards this roster that has sufficient competitive experience in a top level.
Okay, I agree. Yes, you have the quality, but you have to find the balance. The flavor is so important. It needs to be just right. And Nongshim, I feel like they have found that exact flavor. The heat, the spice, the different rotations. I mean, it feels like I'm cooking a pot of noodles at this point. But yeah, they have been cooking so far for Nongshim Red Force, and I like this roster.
And to go back in time slightly, right? When was the last time we saw OG Esports? It was all the way back in March or April when IKL was still happening here. So it has been, 4 months since their last gameplay. But for Nongshim Red Force, they represented Republic of Korea back at Asian Games qualifiers, and they look amazing here. So it's about available information versus delayed information that has been not available for quite a while now.
Of course, we have seen OG Esports already, like, they have had a little bit of a sabbatical already for some time. That could work into different ways, right? Like, they could have actually just spent all of this time just trying to work their way into understanding the meta for this KWC 2026. On the other hand, we could always just think about, like, is this Nongshim Red Force that has been competing a lot more right now, is that going to give them an advantage or not?
I want to talk about a very small piece of information.
Yes.
Omkurus
yes,
used to be a professional AOV player.
Oh.
So he has some information for OG. So I'm wondering if he's going to take what he has seen just now from the Buriram and Flash games, as well as the Influence Rage and S8UL games, and bring us to a completely different world for this best of 3.
Let's just spotlight the coaches for a bit, right? Like, because both of them have very different styles. They have a very strong identity, and they coach their teams in very different ways, right?
Yes. For me, I think Coach YK, which is the coach coming in from Nongshim Red Force, is about discipline, doing things at the correct timing here. And the draft is actually very, I would say, stable and static here. Like, you pick A, I counter with B, and then we slowly pace off with the global ban picture. But for Omkrus, you've seen his games back in Bigatron by Vitality here. Zhuangzi jungle, Marco Polo farm lane, weird picks all around. Did it work to a certain extent? But that's the thing that makes this person special coming in from the side of OG Esports. It's his flexibility in actually taking on the blame for his team for draft mistakes. But with mistakes, there's also risk. And with risk, there's also high rewards.
I mean, that's a responsibility, right? You give the tools for the team, but it's up to the players to be able to execute the movements to perfection.
Correct.
And I feel like the hero pools, I want to just pinpoint into the jungle.
Yep.
Haku against the jungler Dao Dao. That one's interesting because both heroes, they have very deep hero pools.
Yeah, and towards this point, right, I think as we watch so many games of Nongshim Red Force throughout the years, I feel like Nongshim Red Force, at the very least for Haku, there's one specific hero that he doesn't have in his pool, Jing. Which Dao Dao 100% has.
Okay, maybe we won't get to see the Jing though, because I think Dao Dao is more comfortable on the Luna.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, both junglers are pretty comfortable with the Luna here. We've seen highlight reels from them back in their KME, KMW days, so maybe coming in towards this draft here, Luna might be one of the specific picks to look out for, but in terms of the traditional drafting style, I still feel that Pei, Aoyin, these are definitely top tier, and then the AOV hero starts coming in. Florentino has been banned, what? In almost every single game, and we have yet to see a single appearance of it, and every time there is a Lorien, it has been showing amazing performance thus far in this tournament.
I like the fact that it's 0% show rate for Florentino, but it seems to be 100% win rate, if I'm not wrong, for all the Lorien games we have seen so far, right? So the moment you pick Lorien, you win the game. Let's hope that that stat continues, because I want to see more Lorien games. It's really interesting how they use that total of 2 seconds of CC. It's an instant delete button.
And towards this specific pick of Lorien, right? Yes, it may seem like a very strong pick. It is. I have it ranked at like tier 0.5 to tier 1.
Okay.
This hero is exceptionally good that you can pick it in the first phase. I believe in a longer series format in the BO5 and BO7, this hero either highly pick or almost 100% pick and ban. Now, what kind of heroes counters Lorien here? Based on my conversation with some of these pro teams, they mentioned like hard engage like Mai Shiranui, hard engage like a Guan Yu, for example. These things are what you can actually try to dissect the Lorien pick.
Yes, and you know, one of the discussion points we have, besides the mid lane matchup of Lorien, we expected him to be picked quite a lot. It's also about the roam. So on the roam side, you know, we talked about Kui coming into play in this meta. I have not seen a single Kui today. Can I please be blessed with one game? Just one.
I feel like Kui, I will definitely 100% want to see it here. And if it's anywhere, it's definitely going to be here because Namu has picked it a lot of times before in clutch games. But Isaac, what do you think?
I really look forward for the Kui, man. Like, the Kui is one of those heroes that I just enjoy so much watching. Like, just the ability that it has, like the way that you use that hero with the hooks. But well, maybe they will let us watch it. Maybe they won't. Holler, Nora, let's take it from here.
All right, thank you so much, Isaac. As we go into, of course, the third series, this one has been a lot of hype, especially when we're talking about the play-ins. And my name is Holler. With me is Nora. I'm so happy to be here with you on the desk. But your thoughts on these two teams?
Well, my thoughts on these two teams is that it's kind of like a deja vu for the EWC last year, because they actually met up against each other last year in the group final for the first round. And that was a 2-0 goes to OG. So again, this time, Nongxin face against OG again, first played in EWC this year, while they make their revenge on OG.
Oh, is it revenge? Is it bad blood? How are the, I mean, going in, the rosters are slightly different from when we did see them in that rematch, right?
True.
But I think that at the end of the day, OG, you still have Dao Dao, which we know is one of the strongest players on the team. They've leveled up, I would say, with Amcorus as coach. I like OG in general. I mean, the fact that they got here, I think it was a little bit of a surprise, if you will.
Yeah, well, I feel like they are definitely like a jungler core playstyle. So this time they definitely will put a lot of strength on Dao Dao again, since he already got like 12 MVPs back into the springtime. So definitely, yeah. And I would say maybe Nongxin, they were kind of restricted the heroes on the side of OG.
Yeah. And I think that Nongxin's on the other side. You're talking about jungler. Let's talk about the other side. It's Haku, right?
Yes.
He also is a very aggressive one. I don't know in terms of like level, if he's the same level as Dao Dao, but he's still, I would say the team success revolves around his play, correct?
Yes, I totally agree with you. So I'm looking forward to seeing like both assassin jungler play against each other.
Okay.
And for the BP phase, actually we can see Mai will be the first one, goes over to Nongxin Red Force. While Illusion is definitely going to be the shot caller of the game.
Yes, and actually this is one of his signature heroes.
Yes.
He will almost always pick this one because, again, the Mai Shiranui, there are many reasons to like her, but she's also about that tempo.
Yeah.
Illusion loves to play these types of mobile, high damage type of mid laners, if you will.
Yes, I feel like he's always going to pick Mai every time, each game. But Lorien's been so popular right now so far in EWC, and it's actually doing well.
Yeah, it's actually done very well. It's funny because It's been available, even in the Asia Games qualifier, but no teams were really willing to pick it. But we've seen it time and time again. Every single series, it's been first phase picked. It is incredibly strong. I mean, even in my own ranked games, the Lorien hero absolutely destroys. So, I mean, seeing it on the big stage, your thoughts on this?
Well, I feel like maybe it's because it's kind of new, so teams and also the players need time to get to know this hero more throughout the game, and also because of its long attacking range and also the burst out damage coming from this Lorien, so it can do both good in the laning and also in the team fight.
Yes, it adds quite a bit, right? A lot of flexibility. That orb and that damage is unreal.
Yeah.
It kind of controls things. But if we're looking on the other side, Nongshim's lineup, I mean, the Aaron, the Zhang Fei, the Mai, these are more traditional Honor of Kings esports heroes, correct?
Yes, and it's pretty solid, I would say.
Agreed.
Like, you can never go wrong with the Zhang Fei pick, and also with this Irene. Well, I do like the Irene pick because it's kind of just guarantee the output through the team fight. So I would say Nongshim Red Force is looking for a very well-rounded composition for this team.
Agreed. And I think that it's funny because they see the Arlie. They know that, you know, on the other side, it's going to do definitely its own damage from a hem.
Yeah.
But the Aaron has kind of risen in popularity in terms of like a counter. It has that like homing missile, if you will, but it has definitely play. But your thoughts on the Aaron overall?
Yes, I feel like Aaron is kind of like a safety pick because Arlie, yeah, definitely you can manipulate this hero in a more artistic way. But if you just go for small mistakes and everything might just fall up because of the Arlie pick.
Okay. And it looks like they're going to go with the Guan Yu, a little bit more of that control, because you know that if they're going to jump on top of you, you have that Razor Cavalry, push them away, kind of make things very easy, especially when you're talking about a Lorien with those orbs, to kind of be in that bad spot. And you want to control the battlefield as much as possible. So the Guan Yu always tried and true in the Clash lane.
And I do think this Guan Yu might be the pivot of the whole composition goes to OG, because we mentioned about how well-rounded that Nongshim is trying to form up with their format, but like for this Guan Yu pick, he can easily disrupt about this Irene and just kind of being such a great threat among the team fight.
All right, it looks like the last two picks have been locked in by Nongshim Red Force here, Umbrosa and the Ying. And we've seen Haku love this hero Ying. It's definitely done quite a bit, but the Reptel Umbrosa has actually added a nice wrinkle into this lineup as well.
True, and also a lot of players thought Umbrosa can be such a great counter pick towards this Guan Yu because you can do good at the laning phase, and also because of the poking damage coming from this Umbrosa, and also you can easily get attached to this early during the team fight. So I do think Umbrosa might be the hero for Nongshim this time.
All right, and now it looks like OG are going to finalize their draft, picking up the Kaiser here. They're going to go as tanky as possible to kind of deal with this, to be that frontliner. But in terms of draft, though, who are you giving the edge to?
Well, it's very hard to say, actually, because for this Kaiser pick, if he really do this Kaiser well, you know, when the Kaiser is using his ulti, then he can actually block a great amount of damage dealt by this Umbrosa and also by this Irene.
Okay.
So if he play it in a wise way, I would say I would put my money on OG this time.
Okay, you're gonna put money down? All right, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not here to gamble, but I think that I do like the idea of the draft. I think it's very smart. The Lorien and the Arlie will definitely be doing a lot of the damage. You have so many guys to like CC. You've got crowd control in terms of like moving people around as well. So it adds a lot of ticks on the boxes, if you will. But if we're looking at the other side, the Nongshim one, for me, it's about this Umbrosa and the Ying.
Yes.
Are they able to find some of the squishier, like the Lorien and the Arlie here?
Well, I think like the Ying pick, the main point about this Ying pick is trying to get her eyes on this Guan Yu and try to block Guan Yu away during the team fight.
Okay. All right. We're going to find out. This is the third series of the day. Game number 1. OG, Nongshim Red Force, who will be moving on to the upper brackets in these play-ins. Incredibly scary, and already we're going to start with a little bit of action in this mid lane here.
A lot of skirmishes can already be seen in the mid lane. And actually, I'm really curious about how strong that Group B can be, because we've seen all the matches performed by Group A, and it all end up with a 2-0.
Yeah. So, I mean, Group A has been nothing but 2 zeros. I will find out in the next, the upper bracket in terms of just who's going to just kind of move on with that. But I think for me, Group B is the group of death, I would say, in the planes.
Oh.
I think the teams are a little bit more on a different level. Not to say that Group A are bad or anything. It's just that the competitive level is much higher, I would say, in Group B.
Yeah, I feel like players are more experienced.
Yes. Yeah, and as we go in, it looks like to this bottom lane, for me, obviously Dao Dao is that guy, right? The Kaiser, though, but it's not a really, like an assassin style. So
Yeah.
he's going to be looking to keep him alive, and I think that it's more of like a protect composition, if you will.
And the shortage about this Kaiser pick is that it's not that efficient about his farming in the jungle.
Right.
So that might cause a little bit problem in the early game of OG.
Okay, all right. But now, if we're talking about the Nongshim side, who is the one guy you're like, okay, he has to have a good game?
Well, Umbrosa definitely
Okay,
Retail, and
okay.
also he's the new one to Nongxing, right? Compared their roster to last year. So I'm looking forward to the synergy between Retail and also Hakui.
Yeah, yeah. I actually like that, right? Because Rattel, again, he was kind of coming in for Kyung-9. You were like, where's he going to be able to fit in? If we're talking about S4, didn't have the greatest start because, again, he was trying to, you have to play on the international level, like right away.
True.
It was a lot of pressure for him, but it looks like Rattel and Namu right now are really gelled with this team.
Yes, yes, and you can see like how aggressively that Retail is playing right now. Because as I said, a lot of players thought like Umbrosa can be a great counter-attack towards this Guan Yu pick.
Oh, Siri gets knocked up. He gets control, but the shields are on point. Namu with the pushback on to 663, who takes some tower shots, but he too will survive. But OG, I like this aggressive play.
Yes, and because it's a Lorian, he can actually win the lane of the mid, so he rotate down fastly and make it to a 3-1 skirmishes happening at the farm lane.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. You already pointed out Rattel, right, on this Umbrosa. But in terms of lane matchup, how does it do against the Guan Yu overall?
Well, I think Umbrosa can do great against this Guan Yu pick. So, and also Umbrosa can actually support to his team members faster than this Guan Yu around 4 minutes mark.
Okay, okay. And I think in terms of these team fights, with like Illusion and Rattel jumping in, will really kind of create a little bit of chaos, especially on this back line. And so Ihans and Dao Dao, they need to be on point. They need to ensure that they're like the perfect security guards for like a Hem and Neil at the end.
Yes, and also they need to guarantee the vision is pretty clean for this early, around this 4 minute.
Yes. By the way, what role do you play?
Wow, mid.
Okay, you're mid. Okay. Are you a Mai
Well,
player?
could, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Or I can be the Xiao Qiao.
Okay.
Like simple,
Yes,
but...
yes. Excellent. Okay. But now in terms of this like mid-game matchup, right? I mean, the Mai on the one side, the Lorian, like how does Neil deal with Illusion as a Mai here?
Well, I think Mai can be the first hand to, just open the skirmishes. But for Lorian, you need to make sure that you poke enough and then use your skill 3 to dash in.
Got it. Okay, so it looks like the setup has been there. I mean, this 4-minute Tyrant is about to be started. Namu with the vision, but it looks like both sides right now really not looking to fully contest here. As OG, again, they're just like tethering it, but Dao Dao's not even close to this Tyrant.
And because it's too early for both teams to... just rush the dragon because the damage out is definitely not enough. They need to scale up a little bit more.
Okay.
So they are a little bit hesitate about whether they're gonna go for this dragon or not.
Got it.
They're kind of afraid of if they just wait all their skills onto this dragon, how they're gonna handle the team fight come afterward.
Okay. But it looks like they're going to start the Tyrant here, and they want to put the pressure onto Nongshim to have to sort of react. The Tyrant getting very low. The Umbrella Outburst is not enough. They've already taken the Tyrant. Hem will take that one out, and now Dao Dao is going to be backing off. OG get that right pick off, and Nongshim left wanting.
Well, you feel like OG, they have their own pace, even though we haven't seen any kills happen right now yet. But you can see like they're waiting for Dao Dao coming into this camp and try to guarantee the dragon for them in the early game.
Yeah, the spacing was actually on point, right? The way that they were able to take it, because Nongshim, it seemed like, oh crap, they're starting it. We need to get there. And then we're too late. OG with a perfect fortified area, ensuring that they secured it. There was no 50-50 smite battle.
True. So it's pretty much like OG, they are presetting for this dragon.
True. And now Nongshim on this other side. Like, we knew it was going to be close, but the net worth is still in favor of Nongshim of all things. But now here comes the Razor Cavalry. They actually find him, and Haku trying to get onto the tower. He will be fine, but first blood is going to happen elsewhere as Namu does fall. But Dao fighting 1 versus 2. They're going to continue with that, but OG taking the bottom T1.
And you can see like the same trick that OG did against 3 versus 2 with this mill coming up down and help Aham to get that winning lane at the bottom.
Yeah, actually huge, right? Taking down Namu and then taking the tower. OG right now, that is a huge win. That's going to open things up in terms of spacing. Nongshim right now they have to respond in some fashion.
Yes.
All right, but now back into this mid lane they go. I think Illusion, one thing I haven't seen too much is that he's not really rotating too much. He's kind of just sticking with it. It seems like OG are kind of spotting out where Illusion is at all times.
And the detail about that is because you can see every time when the minions coming into the mid lane, Dao is always being there. So it's always going to be a 2 versus 1. So Mai and Illusion can't really get control of the mid lane.
Bitter farewell. Oh, the nice pushback. The ult was unreal by Namu, but he's going to be whittled. He's going to be focused down. Ihan's not able to find the right target. OG, again, they're trying to fight, but they can't find the right target.
I mean, like a nice ulti down by Namu, but the problem is that not sufficient for the burst out damage coming out from Nongshim, because we mentioned about how important Ambrosia should be there.
True.
But you can see after the skirmishes happened, actually the positioning is not that well for Nongshim.
Yeah, they weren't able to. I mean, the positioning, yeah, they had to run. They couldn't really take that team fight, but that created space for Siri to take the bottom T1. So overall a win, I think that they're going to be happy with that at least.
Yes.
All right, now into the top lane they go. OG, they will continue with this push. Nongshim have responded in kind, but the biggest factor for me is that how the game is going to go is based on these mid T1s. Both of them are still standing. Net worth is literally neck and neck.
Yes, and also the split and push might be very important in the middle game.
Yes. And now it looks like they're going to be aggressive here. 663 with that bitter farewell. He heartlinks on back to safety. He will be fine, but Nongshim again, you got to protect your jungle as much as possible here.
You can actually feel like Nongshim is trying to make something happen, but the problem is that you can't find your target appropriately.
Yes, you can't find it at all. I mean, Dao right there, he was not able to take the Azor, couldn't even attempt to go for the smite because it was hidden away in that brush. Too dangerous for him. Dao is just looking to stay alive.
That's true. And also, like, OG, they are separated and they are making things happen simultaneously.
Yes.
At the top, at the bottom. So that kind of just makes some trouble for Nongshim.
Yeah, and that's the spacing, right? That's how good teams are going to play, because they're going to put pressure from all different angles, and like what side is going to actually crumble. And I think that OG have responded correctly, I would say.
Yes.
All right, now it looks like the Azure Golem is going to be taken away. Dao looking to go in. He's a little angry. He's going to be pushing on back, and it looks like Neil gets a little bit low. He's trying to stay alive on that side, but they find Haku. The pickoff has been real. Ihans is looking to run away. Ahem is going to sacrifice his own life, fighting 1 versus 3, but double kill on his way out. It looks like it's a 2-for-1 thus far, but 663 so low, he too will fall. Siri gets that pickoff, and he's going to get under the tower. They turned it around. It was just bait, and they find Dao as well.
We thought like Nongshim might fall apart after the attack happened, but the thing is that Siri survived throughout the team fight and dealt like sufficient burst out damage to this team, and this might be the turning point of the game. I mean,
that was definitely, it's looking to be like the tipping point, right? I think that if you're not able to kill Siri, why are we fighting, right?
Yes.
I mean, Haku, it's going to attract a lot, but again, Nora, please break this down.
Well, I mean, like, nice controllability coming from In this time. He actually guaranteed that Irene could be in a very safe place at the first beginning. So you can see, like, no damage actually is dealt to this Siri. So he can play in such a comfortable way. And everyone just played around with Siri and just pushing forward.
And it also didn't seem like Ahem was finding Siri, right?
Yes.
Like, he needs to just focus on him. Illusion and Haku are a bit of a problem, but you gotta leave Rattel and Namu alone.